just got back from White River. Got some more test runs in today. Water conditions were not great and I didn't get any speeds that I'm looking for yet. But I'm also working with this combination of sponsons, bottom ski, and curved turn fin, learning where I need to have my settings. So I want to hook this up on a laptop, go over some day log numbers, and share these runs. And I even talked a little bit on the wrap up that I did down at White River about what I'm dealing with this combination. So yeah, let's take a look at the day log numbers, and then I'll show the runs that I just did today. Mostly what I'm wanting to get is a read on this laner motor that I have, and feels like I haven't been able to even start to use the power it has. So here's 101, 101, and 104 mile an hour run. So let's look at this second 101 mile an hour run. So when we talk about, I didn't even touch 3/4 throttle, okay? Blue line, power out. I don't understand these throttle numbers. It's based off of this signal, so I'm just going by this power out. Mouse position right here on that run. I didn't think I hit full trigger, and this verifies it, just under 90%. And also, because of the conditions and I'm testing this setup, I just touched that 90%, made a slight throttle correction, got back on it, and this is over 0.4 of a second, from the 718.2 second mark to 718.6. So that's 0.4 of a second of touching 90%, slight correction, and getting back to just under 85%. So that's interesting, looking at the numbers, what you think you're doing versus you actually did. The data log tells the story. The other thing I'm looking at is here I'm coming through the transition. The highest throttle position that I got to, trying to, watching it, what it's doing on that water condition, only at 70, just under 74% throttle. End of the transition, and then here I went to the just under 90%. So the other thing I'm looking at is how this laner motor, the power it has, that I feel like I haven't even begun to use yet. End of the transition, so this blue and this green line, 241 amps and pulling just under 10 horsepower. When I got on this throttle up to 90% throttle, the highest I pulled right there, how quick it responded, 353, almost 354 amps and just under 14 horsepower. And also, this motor, for the most part, has been excellent on ripple current. So usually your ripple current's higher coming through the transition, so your partial throttle settings. You can see it's lower when I got to higher throttle setting, but very low ripple current. 1.55 volts. So on 8S, 10% will be 2.96. So well below 10%. And one more thing to look at. So here's the 104 mile an hour run, and I'm trying to see what it'll do. Is it going to stay down, and how much can I get into it and not blow it off the water? So yes, right here, power out. I put it back on the mouse. I touched 100%, made a slight downward correction back to 100%. So my downward correction was back to 95%, and another 0.4 of a second, just touching full trigger, from the 816.6 mark to the 817, 0.4 of a second. And again, as far as the amps and the output, the horsepower, finishing up the transition, It's pulling 326 amps, just under 12 horse, and I'm kind of just stabbing the throttle, trying to hit full trigger, watching what's going on with the boat. But here's the motor responding, and it pulled 450 amps, 16.26 horsepower, which is crazy response and power output. I need to get to that full trigger position on a longer run, flatter water, and smoother transition and going the full trigger. Because the bad part is, looking at our ripple current again, it spikes when you jump on the throttle like that. This is not good. Here at 3.71, and the worst right at the last bit where I was hitting full trigger, 4.02, which is over 10%. So yeah, very interesting looking at these numbers to get a read on comparing what you think you're doing with the throttle, what kind of power the motor has, how you're using it, and how that's matching up with your settings, your setup, and the water conditions, how you're running. This is not ideal. So got a ways to go as far as figuring this boat out. The combination of the sponsons and the bottom ski that I'm running and the curved turn fin, and then also to use the power effectively or properly of this laner motor, which I think is a monster. Start, stop, read, zeroed out, start, it's reading. Smooth run. A little breezy and no hopping. Made some more adjustments. Loosen it back up some more and went up a little bit on the curved turn fin. I'm at positive 0.2. $101. Okay, don't have the best conditions. It's breezy on and off, and the wind direction is switching on me. I'm gonna try one more. Almost hate to be risking it, but that's just how my weather is lately. Reading. Kind of trying to run between the wind that's on and off. There, it's on pretty good right now. I've also taken that line where coming more with it instead of across it from over there. It is pushing down on my torque side, but okay, there's a little calm spot in the breeze. Still going to take that same line. Okay, that's settled. That's almost down to nothing. Almost full trigger. That was faster. She unloaded a bit more. Behaved wonderfully. Love the way it's handling. Just what I'd expect based on my settings as far as how it's responding. Oh man, this late summer testing. 101 again, okay. Yeah, I just don't have the confidence to give her a full send. Start, I'll try one more. If I can get a little flatter water. Wait for the run between the wind gusts. Reading. Like I say, it's really off and on, and right there, I don't feel nothing in my face. Let's go. Get to test out the electronics too. Feels like this runs a little cooler, this motor. Okay, that skipped a little. I went to kind of went to full trigger, just momentary. Feels like it skipped. One skip right there. Let's see what I got. And then we'll take her home in one piece. We'll check temperatures. Okay, 104. Yeah, I gotta come back, run it with flatter water. I am like just touching full trigger. We definitely have a different handling boat as far as my reads on it, considering the conditions I'm running in. As far as how it's handling it, it's easily breaking 100 now. I just have not got the weather to really send it. Almost 80 on the lipos, that's good. 3 runs warmed up, 113 on the motor. So yeah, this motor 102 roughly on the ESC. So I've noticed this motor runs cooler. So temps are good. I came down here and got set up and thought about packing it up as far as risking losing the boat, wrecking it again. But yeah, trying to get some test runs in here. But my read on it is it's responding to my setup that I'm working towards like I would expect. But this is a different fin than the version 2 fin. So I could still try the version 2 fin. That's still in play. So, but I'm only at positive 2/10, so center of gravity 1.5 inches behind this fin, so same place as I've ran it before. So a positive 2/10 on the curved turn fin. I'm at 0
on the prop shaft angle, and I went to an ABC 1820 22 degree rake angle 45 bar prop. And so the thinking on that being, along with 0 degree prop angle, high rake angle, less lift in the back as far as the hopping goes. But I'm actually thinking, as far as the balance, if it skipped a little bit, it could be the water conditions. Kind of hard to make a read on that. Very dirty air and a little bit of chop. But I'm kind of leaning towards I need to loosen this up some more. So my read being that at the same angle, this curved turn fin that I've reworked doesn't loosen up as much at the same angle as the V2 fin. But yeah, we'll continue testing. I am certainly pretty pumped on this V2.5 with the step sponsons, the version 2 bottom ski. I'm hoping this is going to be a pretty lit combination. I have a ton of respect for Joe Petro's knowledge and experience. He's done a lot of testing. He believes these step sponsons have the potential to be faster than the V2 sponsons. I also like this angle on the back better. He also told me in the early days they did extensive testing on this V2 bottom ski. It's a different angle than the V3, and he believes that the water comes cleaner off the back of this bottom ski. So we'll keep testing, see if, like he thinks, that I may have landed on a combination that has the potential to go really fast. As always, assume nothing and test everything and keep chasing.